No interest. Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fits-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading. All right, guys, let's talk trading. How are you guys doing out there? Well, Benzinga Live. Send me some charts. What would you like to see? What would you like to talk about? Some day trades, some swing trades? Anybody have any suggestions out there? I notice XOM popped up on the screen as a comment. You know, a lot of flow coming into XOM, and it could be because of that news right there. That is a cool kind of intro. I know, I just love it. It always makes me smile. So let's take a look at some charts. Right now, I'm just got SPX up here. We actually earlier did a gap fill. So we gapped down. You could see this gap finder right here is identifying that gap. We just recently did the fill, and I either call this either a gap and go or a gap and crap. And it looks like we're doing a gap and crap, which is, hey, we were going bearish. We ended up filling the gap, and now we're reversing back towards the direction that we were going. And so you could see our last pivot low right here at 54.55, and our last pivot high up here at about 54.85. And this little area has been consolidation for SPX since we opened up. Now, you can see the momentum is sliding past the zero line. This wave indicator is modeled after CCI, so you can get this free, by the way, on thinkorswim to identify momentum. And it's an old school indicator that I love using, but it's very specific to, hey, you know, what's price doing right now? I typically day trade on a 5-minute chart so that I can really kind of sense when we have like fake outs, as an example, confirmation to me at a trigger zone, whether it be support or resistance, is typically a 5-minute candle outside of that area. So clearly, as you know, this is touching, doesn't clear it. The next candle is touching, it's laying on top of it. The next candle is green, but it's still laying on top of it. It's not until we actually get this candle right here that it's like, okay, so we're not breaking below our last pivot low. I really enjoy the pivot locations because it helps you to identify those trends on your chart. If you haven't seen a video called Trend Pivots, got a free video on my channel. Check out my channel, Trading Made Simple with Sandra, and have a lot of really cool kind of unique indicators, I'll say, that I like to use. This one being the trend pivot. Only because it draws the trend lines for you. If you're like one of those detailed anal people that are like, wait a minute, am I drawing this correctly? Is this supposed to be the bottom of the candle or the top of the candle? This just takes it all out for you. It's a very simple way to identify location on the chart. So let's take a look at the cues right now, and then we'll go over a watch list that we kind of had today. So momentum here kind of shallow on the cues. Even though it did bust through the zero line, you could see how the wave like immediately kind of corrected itself right here on this 5-minute candle. So looking to see if we actually come right back up. It's a really nice setup. I often like when we actually are either close to the zero line or just like this, where we're just kind of slightly breaking it. And then as it curves up, and price gets on top of the 20. It's one of my favorite setups. So looking to see if that ends up happening in the next couple minutes. I have this intraday mood indicator, and it's I kind of like it. It's very nice for premium sellers, just kind of telling you that, you know, we're kind of neutral right now, hanging in the zone on a 5-minute chart. And let's see if we have anybody with any charts that you guys want to take a look at. Oh, PANW, that was actually on our watch list. Let's take a look at PANW. Oh, you guys have a whole lot of, well, geez, I'll just stop filling in my time here. I thought maybe You guys weren't talking to me today, so I got a lot of charts to go over. So let's go ahead and take a look at a PANW. PANW on a 5-minute. We looking for a swing on this? Because wow, it had a nice day today already. Already close to the 5-minute pivot high. And you can see this area at 321.03. And you can also see the trend line that it's creating on a 5-minute. If we move out to a 15, oh, that's a beautiful setup right here. Just doing a little bit of a pullback. This right here is like my 5. I just like to see where that's at. Really, we're very far away on a 15 from the 20. And the 20 is kind of like my reversion to the mean. So, you know, there's always an ebb and flow of the market. And so I really like using the 20s. Some people like a VWAP. Whatever you like to use is fine. It's really specific to, like, you know, how you identify movement on the chart, right? So as far as price movement is concerned, we're staying above that 5, which is really bullish. And if we break below there, then our next support level is going to be that 315.04 level, which is on a 20 EMA, excuse me. And you can actually see that this morning it actually broke above. So really kind of bullish here, the look on it here. On a 1 hour, now this would be for like a short swing. I really like looking at the 15-minute chart, and I also like looking at the 1 hour. So on a 1 hour, you got momentum that is bullish. Even though it's like just waning a little bit, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to break the zero line. When it breaks the zero line, that's when you kind of recognize that, oh, wait a minute, we're changing trend. And then I look at the hourly, and even the hourly here is above on momentum. And so typically speaking, unless there's a divergence, right, a momentum drives price. So if momentum is strong, it's going to make, the price rise. Momentum actually drives the price. So I love looking at a momentum indicator just to kind of see the flavor of it all. And then for me, an easy thing for me to look at is basically that 20 on any time period. I just really like it. You can see PANW, even on a day chart, is above the 20. It actually came down and tested it, which is a really strong movement for the next candle here today to be above it. It tested it, didn't break it, came down, did a reversion to the mean, and popped right back up. And so you can see that we have this area of consolidation. There seems to be a little resistance zone. And my indicator here, which is called the bullseye, is indicating, hey, look, at 320, this is a nice, on a day chart, this is a nice long entry. So you could see that the previous days, you know, I call this like a block wall. So it's a block wall of consolidation. And though we've had some inside candles, some outside candles, you know, within this period of time, it's still consolidating in this area. And that's why my indicator is identifying, look, this is still bullish. We're above the 20, but we really need to get above that 320. And then we have targets to 329, 338, and 346. Your stop loss on that, if you're writing this down or taking a snapshot, your stop loss here is at 311. So this is excellent, not only for, if you're doing some stock buying, if you could afford it, or if you're doing some options. So what kind of trade could we take on this? Well, you know I love the debit spread. The debit spread really gives you the ability to hang on to a trade for longer than a couple days if it's going against you. And don't we want those superpowers? So a lot of us, don't have diamond hands. And, when I'm training new traders, this is one of the most difficult aspects psychologically to get over, is that, there is an ebb and flow of the market as well as your ticker. And you're going to have those days where it's going to be 30, 40% down. Depending on your risk level and your analysis when getting into this trade, you should kind of expect some sort of movement. That's why it's so important, to take a trade when you're either at support or you're at resistance, because what that allows you to do is identify a very minimal risk level for yourself. But when you're taking a trade that you're kind of in the middle of, unfortunately, then you know, it could go either way. And so it's kind of a crapshoot. You have a better odds of succeeding if you get it at either support or resistance. Now, granted, at those levels, you're going to have fake outs, but hey, again, it's your best opportunity to get into a trade because it's minimal risk. You know exactly where resistance is. You know exactly where support is. So that's how PANW looks for me. I like it. And you can see that consolidation. And by the way, what do we have after consolidation? Well, we either have accumulation or distribution, right? We're either going to break out or we're going to break down from consolidation. So that's what we're, my dog's coughing in the background. I'm sorry. So I don't know if you can hear that, but he is kind of choking. Anyway, so what we're looking at, I digress. So what we're really looking at here is a really nice setup is what we're looking at. And we're really looking for a breakout here, aren't we? It looks bullish today. It's been consolidating. If it breaks above 320, we're breaking long. If it breaks below 311, or let's make it my 20, 310.05. Do you see that blue label? 310.05. If it breaks below there, you could take a put debit spread as an example. So you could automate this entire thing without getting to it into a trade today. You could automate this good till cancel. And this could be your setup for PANW. I think it's awesome. You have your call, 320, anything above it, you're in a long debit spread. If you go down below 310, you're in a put trade, put debit spread. So, so that's what I see on PANW. That's a nice one. And by the way, let's see, I actually had that on our watch list in our Discord. Let me pull that up real quick and I can tell you our levels. So for PANW, let's see, we were looking at if it breaks above 315. How interesting. So break above, and this is an analytical team that we have that actually puts this together. So we have a weekly watch list as well as a daily watch list. And this is a team of 3 guys that put this together. And it's always nice to I see what I see on my chart. They're looking at something else and probably a different time frame. So let's do that real quick. Let's look at a 1 hour. And you could see that the 315 level here on a 1 hour chart is identifying as, hey, this is bullish. So 314.59 is what they identified with their targets at 318. Look at my indicator here. This is awesome. 318.36 and 321.32. Now my indicator is based off of ATR levels. Their levels are actually identified just by the previous candlesticks. So you know that. Now, for PANW, a break below 314.59, a break below 314.59, so that's like right under here, is going to be a short. And that's only if it rejected it. So it didn't reject it. It actually went right through it. So because of that, we're probably not looking at a short today. But that level, if it would have been rejected, would have been at 314.59 for levels at 310 and 307. So that's PANW. Nice little rundown on that. All right. Let's see. Hopefully that helps. Let's take a look at another one. CRM, wanting to do a swing on CRM. All right, let's do that. Let's take a look at that. Oh, nice on a, so we have on an hourly, I like looking at the 15 and a 1 hour on an hourly for a short swing. So looking at a 15 and a 1 hour, I mean, you know, we are far away, right, from the 20 on an hourly. And for the 15, let's take a look at it. 15, we're actually coming down to do a retest. And you could see this little area of consolidation. It's kind of, boy, look at all the targets that we hit on a 15 for today, guys, on CRM. Wow. So looking for CRM actually to stay above that 242.60 area. 242.60. And you can see that momentum on a 15, you know, it's still above the 20. As long as it stays above the 20, and you can see the consolidation, which is those yellow bands. So consolidation right here is at 242. Let's make it 242.50. So looking for CRM to stay above 242.50 by the end of today. And that's why most institutions and large traders get into their swings at the end of the day, is to see how price action is actually, what it's doing all day, not just for a very short period of time. So if you're looking for this as a longer swing, I would ID this as 242.50, looking for it to stay above that. 15-minute chart's excellent to take a look at for some continuation. And I really like the wave of momentum here on the hourly. It took a little, it's taking a little breather here, but nothing too drastic. It's not pointing down, breaking the zero line. So I like that. And then if we look at a shorter, you can see that momentum is waning here for it, but it's popping back up. So, and look at the trend line. Let's see, look at how it just, obeys this trend line so well. And look how when it gets over to it, it starts to consolidate. And where is this trend line on a 5-minute? It's at 242.64. So giving it a little bit of room for a fake out. What do we 242.50 as an example? That would be a great area to see it hold for this afternoon for a continuation. And if not, if it starts to break down, where's it going, guys? It's going right over here to 240. So if you don't want to hold through those $2, you might want to get rid of your swing, unless, of course, you're in a longer dated option, or you're in a spread of some sort, which, of course, allows you to hold much longer, or maybe even you have stock shares and you're okay to hold through that dip. So that's what I would be taking a look at for CRM. I hope I covered it. If I didn't, yell out at me. Oh, great. Glad you like that, Elon. Oh, no, somebody wants, let's see, MBIO. I don't do the penny stocks, but I'm happy to look at it. Let's look at something like that. MBIO. I just don't recommend it to my traders. I just, I just don't do this kind of thing. But hey, and I probably don't do it because of like this type of action. It's like, just flip a coin, would you? So got some crazy movement today. Nice crossover. This isn't today. This is a daily chart. This was like 3-4 days ago, right? On the 17th. And then you can see, boy, those big swings. So anytime that you're on any time period, right? And you see those big wicks, boy, that's called, wild price action, especially for how big those candles are for this size of stock. So looking at it on a smaller time frame, looks like we did. Look at the gap fill, guys. We talked about a gap fill. We talk about a gap fill and then a crap, right? If this could have been a gap and go, you would have seen bullish continuation on this ticker. And it doesn't matter like what ticker it is. This is just like price action 101. So as you can see, we have a vertical trend line here. We with a wick, right? We did an automatic gap fill, and then we come down. So until we actually break above this gap fill, and by the way, that's the last pivot high. So I'm looking at 85 cents. Let's make it 86 cents. If it breaks above 86 cents, we're going to have bullish continuation. Outside of that, we're just in a range from the last pivot high into the low, and we're like right in the middle. This is not the place to be. But because we've been consolidating, if you're looking for a day trade, because we're consolidating right here, this is called Darvis bands. I love this consolidation indicator. And so if you're wanting to get into a day trade and you just had to do it, well then 68, let's make it 69. 69 breaking above 69, you're breaking above that consolidation area. We've been consolidating since about 11 o'clock. So we'll see how much longer it consolidates. This could go all afternoon, but at least you know the levels. We're saying 69 for the upside on a day trade. We're saying, let's see, how about 60 on the downside for a put trade if you're looking for something short term on this stock. And then let me just look at an hourly really quick. Oh, actually, that looks really nice for an hourly coming back, hitting support. This is actually a consolidation area that it's identified. We did a little fake out here, came back up. I have this, we have momentum. So what I would like to see is momentum, and you can use the CCI if you want to just follow along with my analysis. But if momentum crosses above that zero line and we stay above that 20, which by the way is 63 cents on an hourly chart. Wow, what a nice setup for a swing trade to go higher. Okay. All right. Usually don't do those types of stocks. Not used to looking at those at all. Loving what you hear and how she breaks it. Oh, well, awesome. Come visit me, tradingmadesimple.org. By the way, I have a YouTube channel, ton of videos, ton. Price action, indicators. I love indicators. I love price action. I love gamma. I'm a premium seller. I love 0DTE SPX trades. We have some on right now. So if you're into all of that, come on over, check us out. Great. Let's see. I was like 83. Let's see. NVIDIA up 5 from the low of day. That's good to hear. Yeah, who isn't a huge fan of PANW? I like PANW too. Nike, let's take a look at Nike. I didn't see that one. All right, Nike on a 1 hour. Gosh, look at that nice momentum for the last couple of days, right? Sweet, staying above, and it's just grinding. But you can see, by the way, even though momentum, right? Momentum was above the zero line. You could see how, price moves up, consolidates, moves up a little, right? Consolidates. And that's really, if you're able to get into a trade vehicle like a debit spread or a credit spread or any type of spread, butterflies are fun. You can actually be able to handle this kind of movement. You can also go to your trade tab as an example and utilize what the expected move is for the date that you're looking at. And so that's always nice too. And then you can kind of create a strategy. And of course, I'm like so big on automation. So if you can automate this stuff and take the human emotion out of this, then I think you're so much farther ahead than a lot of people who are manually trading. So Nike right now, staying in, we have live charts in our Discord community, and we set like little alerts to let people know, hey, what's up? So I'm curious to see what that is, but I'm not gonna go talk about just automating it. So we have some consolidation here, and you can see that we broke through consolidation, and then all of a sudden, we come back to visit it. Now, anytime that you can identify a support or resistance zone, okay, anytime, your first breakout of that area is actually not the best trade. It's the retest of it. So we came out on an hourly, we broke out, we came back and did a retest on the red candle, right? And then now a green candle's forming. So as long as it breaks above that 96 area, we're going to have continuation. It's just been in consolidation right here, and it's ready to break out. So that's on a longer time frame. When we look at a 15, which is really good for intraday trades as well as like short swings, you could see that reversion to the mean. It breaks out of the 20, comes back to the 20. Look at the fake out here. Was this going to be a fake out? Look at momentum, how the wave just comes right back up into the bullish zone. So I really like this setup right here, for continuation to the long side. And where's the target's going to be? Just look left. That's all you have to do. If you're looking left, then you have a target here at 96, a little bit higher at 96.65. And then from there, we have targets. So my indicator right here, which is just average true range, no secret sauce, guys, but it is a full indicator. 96.32. That's when you're going to enter the call. You could also place your stop here, which is so perfect, right at the 20. I love it. 95.97. Well, I'm the one who developed the indicators, so clearly the way that I trade was made into this so that it could be an easy visual identifier of how I actually read the chart. So 95, 97, when I automate things, and even when I'm trading, I like to pad it a little. And the reason I pad it is because these zones are everyone knows these zones. All the computers know the zones, all the indicators know the zones. And because of that, there's a lot of movement within that zone. So what I would suggest is that you always give yourself a little room. Don't look at that zone as like it's to the penny. I'm a detail-oriented A-type personality, so I totally get it. But once you have some experience, you'll recognize that these zones are called fake outs because there's so much activity within that zone. A lot of buying is happening in the zone, a lot of selling is happening in the zone. And what does that do with price? It makes that candle break the line that you have on your chart, come back in it, come back, and this flip-flop basically. So I call them fake outs. So the confirmation for me is a candle that's outside of it. So like as an example, this guy touches it, this guy's laying on top of it, right? And I'm on a 15. So depending on what time frame you're trading, you can use that, and it's the simplest way if you're constantly getting faked out of a trigger level. Just look at it and say, okay, if that's my trigger level, I need one candle on a 5-minute chart, as an example, if you were day trading, to be away from that zone, not touching it. And then you have some confirmation. At least you increase the odds of success on the direction that you chose. And if not, then you're just going to go sideways for who knows how long while premium is draining out of your straight call or put, right? All right, guys, I didn't actually take any trades. Do you guys want to take some trades today on a couple of them that we just did? I don't know if Zunaid is just going to cut me off or what. What happened?
We've got about 2 minutes. If we got a quick spread that you want to put on, we can. We've got a coming up as well. So we put on one quick trade if you have it.
All right. I was wondering what happens if you just like thing comes across.
Right. Thankfully, we can just kind of do that.
I like this. Let's do a weekly on Nike, guys. Let's do a weekly on Nike. Yeah, we could come over here on Nike. Let's take a 7-day out for next week. Now, remember an easy setup here, guys. 50% profit, 50% loss, in and out, boom. So you can go right over here to your vertical tab and then go right over here to 97.98. You're looking for this to stay above 98 by the end of next week. And if you do, it's going to cost you $40 to get in, but you can make up to $60 by next week. So that's what we're looking for. I'm going to take a couple of these and we'll set that in there and hopefully get filled. If not, just adjust the price by a couple cents. Remember, don't be a dick for a tick. Am I allowed to say that on live TV?
You said it.
It's something that I once heard and it just stuck with me. How can it not stick with you? You know, if you want to get into this trade, we're traders. This is the price of doing business. So risk management is number one. These little pennies right here, not a big deal. Don't sweat the small stuff. We'll see you next Friday.
Awesome. Appreciate you. And of course, go ahead and tell the folks where they can find you one more time.
Oh, thank you. Tradingmadesimple.org, and check out my YouTube channel. Got a lot of videos there. Trading Made Simple with Sandra.
All righty. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. We will see you next Friday. Again, a lot more content to come as well. Generally appreciate your time here today.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Take care. All right, y'all. Hope you guys enjoy the